Hey everybody, welcome back to Let's Play .hack GU. I don't know why I decided to start the recording here. At first I thought, did I lose some footage somewhere, but I guess I just decided to start it here. Anyway, last time we went on a little training area before going into the final match of the Demon Talus tournament. If we win this one, we get to face off against Endurance and hopefully get some answers to some questions about Ida and maybe even Triage. Probably not. But, yeah. Our next match is against Kuhn, actually, and Pi, and Antares. Antares betrayed us! He's with Kuhn and Pi now. It's not too much of a surprise, but you may have forgotten Kuhn mentioned he's in this tournament too, like way back at the beginning of the game when Haseo was joining GU.
Match is starting. Come on, don't be nervous.
Yeah, Syllabus. It's okay.
Right? Knowing him, he might just lose to us on purpose. You think? Will it be okay? But
Syllabus always reminds me of a Wind Waker character. That thing on his ponytail just reminds me of something I'd see in Zelda. And then he's got the green on, so that reminds me of Link.
That's why epitaph users should never ever use avatars, except against things like Ida.
Kuhn refused to recognize my power. But I'm not going to.
He refused to recognize my power. How dare he? Who does he think he is?
We finally come to the finals of Demon Palace Tournament. Here is our commentator for today. Please.
Yada? Why, though? Okay, so here's something I don't get. Like, from the Guild Raven, that is like a nothing guild, and it's a front for GU. That's supposed to be, like, top secret. So why does this announcer talk about Yada like he would know who he is? I don't know, it's like...
Why it will be difficult for Team Haseo to win this match against Team
I thought, like, Yada would be, like, a secret person that no one would know about, but here this announcer is, and it's like...
The first reason
whatever.
Is how familiar and knowledgeable they are with their own characters. The second reason is how much experience Team Haseo has with arena battles.
Antares? Antares? What the hell are you doing there?
Didn't I tell you?
No.
Shouldn't be a problem if I am your opponent. You'll defeat anyone, no matter who they are. That's what you said, isn't it, kid?
No, so what are you doing, testing me now?
And the third reason is the strength of their resolve and conviction as players.
Man, Yada's
I will never accept.
Yada's a pretty jerky character, but you have to admit, the sound of his voice is like... honey?
You think everything's fine as long as you win? Anything's allowed? Don't you realize it's not worth attaining your goal if you ruin others?
Shut up! What are you, stupid? Who will recognize you if you lose?
You're wrong, Haseo. Winning isn't everything.
Of course it is. I will make you recognize my
He said it again! Why does he phrase it like that? Who talks like this? Okay, so let's face off against Kuhn and Pi and Antares. This won't end terribly. Nah, it doesn't. But this is, well, I'd say this is probably your most challenging fight yet, but for me that was Alcade, because I lost to her like 5 times. I don't know if I mentioned it, but I also lost to Bordeaux a couple of times too. I didn't keep that in there. But, I did manage to beat her without having to do extra leveling. Yeah, I should mention, if you're playing this and you're in an arena battle, at least one of these tournament battles, not like the preliminaries, they will give you the option to try again. But if you select no, it's a game over. So if you think you're like doing well and just like kind of slipped up, like feel free to try again. You don't have to like turn the system off and like level up some more necessarily, unless you're doing like really bad, like I was with Alcade.
Why? Why are you getting in my way?
I do like this scene, actually. Like all three of them lined up there. Because they are like three people that are like in the way of what Haseo wants to do, even though they're just trying to help him. I have to. This is probably like where Haseo starts to like have a change in his character. So now I like this. I like this part of the game. This is a good story moment. At least it starts out as a good story moment. Then it kind of like shoots itself in the foot and gets kind of dumb again. But we'll see that when it happens. Even though all you have to do is defeat Kuhn, make sure you keep an eye on what Antares and Pi are up to. You might want to make sure you're interrupting their skills, because they can, as anybody in the arena can, they can gang up on somebody and take them out. And once one of your characters is out, that is a huge disadvantage for you. It's kind of like Splatoon, where if you start a match and one of your people drops, you lost automatically. God, I hate when that happens. I hate winning when it happens to the other team, and I hate losing when it happens to me.
Why do all of you keep getting in my way? Move! Get out of my way! Else, I'll eat you
You'll eat us? Excuse me?
Come on! Magus!
So we have an Avatar battle. I feel like it's been a long time since we've seen one of these. And this is Magus. In the original Dot Hack series, Magus was the third of 8 phases. He was the final boss of the second volume. Magus in GU actually looks a lot like Magus from the original series. He is one of those avatars that resembles the original phase rather than the character. The only difference is, like, the top, it's a little more, you can see, like, a head and some shoulders and some arms up there at the top of his long, long tail. In the original one, it was just basically just like a circle, but Magus, Magus's title is the Propagation, and you know, I'll be honest, I'm still a little iffy about what propagation could technically mean, but it had something to do with like increasing like the size of something or spreading something. So Magus spread a bunch of seeds around the battlefield in the original series, and they exploded after a certain amount of time. So you basically had to follow his trail of seeds and destroy them before they exploded, and then you'll have some time to attack them. Magus and GU will also, like you saw before, leave behind different seeds to attack Haseo. I mentioned before that each character is their phase for like a specific reason, at least in my mind there are. I hate to say it though, my reason for like believing Kuhn is the way is Magus, you know, the propagation kind of is pretty stupid, but like Kuhn's a womanizer that wants to date everyone, and, you know, spreading seeds. I don't think I need to explain more, but that was always my first reason while thinking that that he was Magus. I'm trying to think if there could maybe be something different, but nah, who cares? You know, I don't think I ever mentioned Pi, like why she was the Avenger. So I don't really think it like explains this in the game ever, unless maybe it's like in an email that you have to, you know, access after a certain amount of point from affection or greeting cards or something. But Pi's brother is a lost one, and she's working so hard to like avenge him. That's why she's the Avenger phase, Tarvos. They go more into that if you had this terminal disc that they gave you when you pre-ordered Volume 1. And it's like a PS2 game, but it's kind of like a DVD where you just watch a bunch of like questions and answers and stuff like that. It gives you some more background lore and knowledge about GU that might actually end up being like significant to the game, and I feel like they should have just gave that with the game no matter what. But I think the narrator in there is supposed to be Pi's brother before he was a lost one. This always reminds me of Evangelion, when Unit 1 like lost power and then went into like a berserker mode, because it's very similar. It's just like Haseo loses control of his avatar basically, and it just like goes nuts on Magus. Even gets like a little violent. Look at this. This is like, ooh, that's. I get a couple of chills just watching that. Maybe I'm also thinking of some scenes in Evangelion too. But it's here. If not with Alcade, then it's here where Haseo like realizes what can happen if he keeps on going down this path of, you know, wanting power over anything else and needing to learn how to control himself.
That's enough! I told you to stop it! Hey, cut it out! Stop!
It is weird though, because it's like Haseo's like having an out-of-body experience with the Avatar. I really like want to know like physically how an Avatar and their player is connected.
Now stop!
Because I don't know, it just doesn't seem to make any sense to me about what's happening.
Haseo. Kuhn! Are you alright?
Is this what you were aiming for?
No! Please! I never meant to! No! This isn't what was supposed to happen!
Do you understand now? Avatars amplify the dark side of our hearts. That is not something that can easily be overcome.
Then what?
You should always be prepared to lose something that is precious to you.
Be prepared to lose something?
And be prepared to protect something precious to you.
Stop. Please stop it. Kuhn! Run! Run away!
I guess I was never really prepared for this kind of thing.
Please! Just go!
God, I hate that face he makes.
The only way
Haseo makes some like weird faces in his in the CGI scenes. You know, I wish he wasn't making those, like, growling noises. It just kind of, like, takes away from it a little bit. At least we get some more, like, classic dot hack sounding music along with this. Like, I love the music like this so much. And, like, the fight with Magus, that music too. Like, that's all, like, what I consider to be, like, dot hack music.
Kuhn,
What? What's wrong, Haseo? That expression isn't
And,
like you.
like, they made it seem like he was gonna be,
You
like...
use the ability of propagation.
Okay, here,
Thank you.
Pi,
Yep, my avatar.
what are you talking about here?
propagation?
Yes, it's Kuhn's avatar's special ability. When it's used, it has the power to propagate all kinds
Okay.
of data.
What does that even mean, Pi? And even so, how did it apply to this situation? She makes it seem like all these avatars have,
Hey.
like,
That's exactly right.
extra powers that will help them, but it's like,
Why'd
they
you
only
put
mention
it on
Kuhn's.
yourself?
It's so
You could have
dumb.
become one of the lost ones.
I know. Idiots can only think of idiotic ideas.
Why you?
Stop! That's quite enough lecturing. Now then, let me speak.
Huh?
You
What?
give up?
Oh no. Stupid hiccuping video.
Hey now, I did pretty good out there, didn't I?
Just do whatever you want.
Come on, bud. You see, Haseo? Winning isn't everything. Winning isn't everything. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Just don't make the same mistake again.
Antares. Yeah. You were right. I wasn't even able to control my own power.
As long as you understand. Oh, you surprised me, kid.
If you know them, then you must have known about the avatars.
I was hired to do a job. I don't know anything about any avatars. Even if I did, it wouldn't change what I had to teach. It's no good anymore when the user becomes the used.
Yeah.
Anyway, kid, make sure that you put on a championship fight worthy of my disciple.
I told you, I'm not your disciple.
The team that conquered this tournament is none other than first-time contender, Team Haseo! This team is famous for their come-from-behind victories, and have gained the right to challenge the Emperor in the title match. I'm afraid it turned out to be a disappointing loss for Team Kuhn. Why do you think they lost?
So it ate the Magus. Well, it would seem there's time to rethink his future assignment.
Huh? Mr. Yada?
Okay, so if that previous scene was all hiccupy and everything, I apologize. I've been noticing that happening a lot lately, and it's, I don't know, my capture card is kind of old. I don't know if it's, like, on its way out or something like that. I hope I can at least finish recording GU before that happens, or maybe just like my computer doing a bunch of background tasks while it's recording. I really hate when that happens because, you know, I make sure nothing else is running when I'm recording the footage, but you never know what's going on in the background there. I hate when scenes like this happen though, because, you know, then you know, it screws it up, and I've tried to like fix a bunch of them, and so far they've worked, but geez, I hate it when it's during cutscenes, because it's like, so anyway, sorry about that. I don't know, it's just so, you know, not a fun thing to watch, but anyway, hopefully we won't be having that problem many more times, but who knows, I don't know. I certainly don't know. Anyway, so we're going to be fighting Endurance sooner or later. I think we got some training videos coming up, unfortunately. But we're coming close to the end of the game. Main story things, you're going to go up against Endurance, and then, you know, and there's another thing happening after that. So, Volume 1's almost done, guys. Hope you're enjoying it so far. I know I've been doing nothing but complaining about it, but, you know, all things considered, it is still, like, I don't know, if it was something I really didn't like, I just wouldn't be doing it. I feel I'm so critical of GU because I want it to do better, because I think it could be so much better than it is, and I just... There's a lot of things about it that I just wish were different or changed that could just make it even better. Because I still think it's like the concept of, you know, this online game as the game itself is just interesting. But anyway, I'm rambling on and off. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.